Okay guys, now we'll see like how to create a server is basically say how to run your node on your website. So when you go to google.com you should get some results, or somewhere you should go and you should get some results. So how to make a server basically. So in node.js we'll say, firstly we are in the completely empty folder. You can see here I'll firstly open terminal, and firstly I'll initialize a npm and say npm init. Now here I'll say package name, let this be version, let this be description, this is a server code, entry point index.js, test command, get keywords, author Zano Ashraf. Yeah, so we got our package. Because basically we don't need package.json in this, but I'm just showing you when you start your project, so you should do something like this in the starting only. Then I'll create a file called index.js. Now we'll say constant server equals to http equals to require http. So what is http? So http is a built-in module. With the help of that you can create a server. So basically how we create it, so firstly we'll say constant server, okay guys, or maybe we'll say just http dot create server. So now we are creating a server, and we'll do like this, and it will give us a callback which will be a request and response. So I have written rec and res. Basically in the first parameter you'll get a request, so you can write like this also. I'll tell you what request and response is. And in the second you can write this also, but the standard is we just write res and rec, because when you study express.js then you will have to write like a lot of times. Then if you replace these words like this also, then also your request part will come in this word only and rest will this. So basically don't just switch places, let the request be first and then response, because request will come in this parameter and response in this parameter. Okay guys, it doesn't matter what you name it. Then this will be a callback like this. Okay, I have done like this, save it. Now everything is fine. Now I'll just run it. I'll say node index.js. You can say nothing happened. Again I say nothing happened. So why? Because I have told to create a server, but I haven't told them like the node to how to run the server or where to listen. So I'll say I'll firstly take it to a variable const server. Now below I'll say server dot listen. So now here we have to give the port. So what is port? So port, like you have an IP address, another computer has an IP address. So how you communicate? With the help of IP address. But in your system there are lot of work happening. Maybe some video is playing, some download is going on, some Windows application is running and they are just doing some stuff, maybe a lot of stuff, something is updating. So everything requires a port. So now like the download will acquire one port and the all download will come to that port and the download will go on. Same way here also in the server will say, okay, you take port number 40 suppose. Now whoever will request on port, like on this port number, just come to this node. Okay, so that's why we give port number. Slowly and steadily when we move forward, you know what are ports and stuff. So we'll say like 4000. Okay, just run on 4000. Now if we run, you can see no output, but it's running. So basically our code is running, code is in a running state. We can just go into browser and get it, but it looks like we are like, it doesn't show any like, okay, your code is running like that, if some output will be there, so that will be better. So for that we'll just make a arrow function here and say console.log server is up and running. Now save it. Now again to run this I have to again Control X C and I'll run it. Server is up and running. Now if I go to browser and suppose where I can go, so basically it's are running our like local host. So we will just say local host. Local host is like an IP address. So when you run on server, it will be like you'll add a domain name, that another part, but everything you are running in the basically on a local host machine which you can only access. So which is local host? You can say localhost is the domain name and the IP address for this you'll get 127.0.1 is equals to localhost. So basically we'll just write localhost because it's easy for us to write. Now we'll say colon and here will give us the port. So now it's running on the port 4000. Okay guys, like this. If you something else is running on another port, so you'll just say localhost port 5000, so you can just access that. And if I show you like www.facebook.com, here I can say on port number 4000. So I don't know whether it will what it will return, it's just going around. So let's just close it. So we are telling okay, go to localhost port 4000 and give me whatever stuff is there I'm running. If I press enter, you can see here nothing happening and here also it's just moving because the request is coming in this request, okay, but we are not responding anything. So let me just close this. So we are getting a request, now we have to respond also. So request is coming in this part. So now we'll say console.log request. So let's just check what we get in request. If we just say port 4000, here I can again run it. If I go here and again do, now if we check, we got a bunch of data in this request module. So let me just stop it. You can see we got a bunch of data and you can see like this was the URL, base URL. So like www.google.com, it's the base, then you have a slash other stuff. Then the method is get. So you already know about method and all, but still I'll tell you afterwards again. Now then you have socket, client and a bunch of stuff, but here nothing happened. Okay, we got the request. Okay, someone is requesting. Now how should I respond? So I'll say respond rest.write. I say in response just write this thing, hey successfully responded. Okay guys, see I'm teaching you in a very easy way because when you get in Express, so that thing will be same stuff, so you should know what's happening. Now again I just say, now whenever I come here and in the request, whenever I request, then again it will come here and print request and it will just say rest.write. If I just close this stuff because request is pretty much big, I can just console like request came. This is the base for your Express.js, so please make sure you get it right. Now we have to again run it. Okay, now here we'll say, go again and say localhost port 4000. Okay, sorry, I just see we are request is coming, but we are writing also and it's not moving also. Let me just go here, localhost port 4000. So you can see it's in the movement state and here request came printed also, but nothing came here as expected like this message. So what we can do, because this is right, now I'll say rest.end Okay, response is ended. Now you can send it back, I'll say. Okay guys, so now I'll again run. Now what will happen, it will send the response, write this and send it back. If I just go again, okay, I haven't saved this stuff. Now I'll just exit again, say. Now I'm sending, just after writing I'll just say okay, return it. Again I'll say, now guy, I got hey successfully responded. So I got the message. Again I click hey successfully responded. And on the 127 also I'll show you 127 dot, that's a your local host. Here also the same thing. And if you write localhost also, then also same stuff. Okay, now every time I'm requesting, this is getting printed. Okay, now I have to write 2 lines unnecessary. We can just remove this line and we can just directly say res.end, but nothing will be there, so we can just give the message inside here. Request successful. Again I just node it, come here, request successful. Now we don't have to say request dot write like that. Now suppose I am coming to slash, what to say, about us. So again the same stuff. So we have to send data based on what I am, on which URL I am going. So as I have told you, we were having something called, let me just show you, when we printed this request module, sorry, that callback, you can see we have something called URL in request. So with the help of if request URL, we can say okay, what is the URL user is searching, and we can just print it. So what we'll say, if request dot URL is equals to slash, then we'll say rest that end, it will be our home page, and I'll give it in h1. So I'll say this home page, and here I'll again say if, or I'll just directly return, because else it will just go again and search. So I'll just return here so it doesn't go afterwards. If request dot URL is equals to slash about, I'll say return res dot end h1 about page. Save it. Now again we have to restart this. I think it hanged, so that's one of the problem with the terminal. I hate it, that's why I love command prompts. Now if I go here on about page, it's about page. Now if we go to basic home page, now if I go to service page, so then again about page is getting printed, you can see on the service page also. So oh sorry, it was this, yeah. Now if I go to service page, it will keep on loading because it's coming here, it checks for the home page, I return home page, then for the about page return about page, but there is no page called as service, so it just can't do anything. And my website doesn't have a service page, my website doesn't have a service page. So if both of this thing not works, so I'll just say res dot end, oops, I'll put in h1 sorry guys, oops, and here I'll say put a BR, I think. You We don't support this page, we don't have this page, and again put a BR. Now we'll give a home page URL, so you can say anchor tag, and here I'll say return home, and here I'll give the hyper reference equals to http://localhost port 4000 base. Okay, now it will tell okay, return to home page, we don't have any URL. Now if I again just restart this, now if I again go to service, so it's showing me oops, we don't have this page, return to home, and there is an option. I'll just click, I'll be return to home. Now it will be for any page. If I say XYZ like this, then also the same, because it doesn't match any URL. And like whatever we'll say, suppose like this, whatever we'll say, it just return the same page. But if we say about, it will just check the about page and return us the about page. You can see about page, we just sending about page, we got the about page. And now we'll also see like how we can send the like status code. So suppose here I want to send the status code 200, like everything was successful. So I'll say res dot status. Let's just check. I don't know whether status is supported in here or not. Like in Express it's supported. I'll say 200, save it. I don't know because there is a method I have to say right head. I just checking whether this will work or not. If I go here and go to network tabs, now go to home page. Okay, I think it's crashed, it's not working like that. So for that we can do the basic way, so I thought it will work that way also. So here we'll say res dot right head, and here we'll say 200. So 200, as I told you in JavaScript, everything it's like okay, everything was successful and you got your page. Save it. Now again I'll run it. Now if I go here, click the home page, we got the home page. Now I'll check the network tab. You can see status code 200, because it's showing is status code 200, like okay, successfully you got it. Now suppose here also, now suppose if I go to about page, and we'll open this in the side only, we'll say localhost port 4000/about about page, we can get again 200. So 200 is by default, like wherever if you don't write 200 and you are just sending data, so by default it's 200. And suppose I am going to a page which doesn't exist, suppose service, again 200, but that's a wrong request, that's a 400 request. So that's why if there's apart from anything 200, we have to specify it, and we should specify 200 also, because if you come back like after a month, so you should know okay, this was a successful API response. Okay guys, now in here if everything goes bad, let me just make it little bit downwards. I'll say res dot right head 404, because you are requesting a URL which is not there. Now I'll just end it and again run it. Now if I go again here, again got the same message, no problem, but we are getting 404 saying okay, you are on the wrong side, you are going to wrong URL, it doesn't exist, you just can't access this URL. So that's why we should have like a right head. And I think you can just say the content type also, dot mm, okay, maybe I have to look for, but that's not necessary because anyways we are going to express JS and then we'll study everything from scratch. So this is the node way of writing a basic URL, I'll say, mapping. And suppose, and yeah, so I mean that's it in this part, guys. Now in the next part we'll see some other stuffs.